welcome aboard. It's me, Steve Spill at Magicopolis in Santa Monica. We're with Martin Cox. Okay. And the iPad man is Scott Wells. Did the podcast with him a couple of years ago.
Yep, the Magic Order.
I think it was a long one, right? Yeah.
It was, because that was when your book had just come out. What was the name of the book again?
It was called I Lie for Money. At the end of the tour, when we end in the magic shop, I'll give the little pitch for you. So anyways, we're in the lobby. If you want to make a quick panoramic view, we'll come back later. So in the lobby, there's the little magic store. This is a little concession stand.
And that's your little concession stand?
This is not a little concession stand. This is an automaton, very lifelike. Right. That's Chad Nelson. He's the manager. This is actually our ticket desk. When you come into the show, that's where you grab your tickets, where the Alexander man is.
Yep, okay.
This is the antenna on the TV. I based this sculpture on a French magic poster you might have seen that had the fans and stuff. But at the time I made it, I had the TV working. Nowadays it's kind of an old school TV.
It's pretty cool.
The bowling ball and the sword and everything. Let me get some. So this is the bar right here. In the motto, the more you drink, the better the tricks look. Let me turn on a little light here. I took a little bit of a cue from Milt Larson, building it out of parts of other buildings that are being torn down and renovated. All the seats throughout the place. They have hat racks under these. These were 100 years old.
Top hats put in.
Yeah, they put their hats on it. These were in the Orpheum Theater in San Diego and then a monastery before I got them. These are some articles about our show. And throughout, you could see, did you get behind the bar there? Yeah, you kind of got the Keller and the...
Yep.
Yeah, okay. This is kind of, the painted lady is kind of cool. Yeah. These are the hands that people did not applaud during the show. They were severed, you know. These are some props from Penn and Teller. They did the show when we first opened. If you first they did the groundbreaking ceremony. I gutted the building, and then put every wall, every single thing you think. I started working on this in '95. I didn't get it open until '98. Those pieces that you see way up there, kind of puzzle piece, fit around here. And when we did the groundbreaking ceremony, I'll later show you where they put their hand and feet in cement, but they broke through this wall. You know, like a cartoon, that was their silhouettes. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's the invitation to the opening, where they did the show. It was 6 months after that. This props are here. These are famous people that have been to our show. And in fact, if you look, you know, when you came in, you mentioned about my white hair. I stopped coloring my hair about right there. You see, there's a little bit of the white there. And if you go on this side, the more recent pictures, you can see the hairline timeline. So you see I have a little bit more there, and it was a little bit more here. And then some of the more recent ones, you see it's completely white. This was, that's Adam Sandler filmed a couple days here his movie, Sandy Wexler, which is currently on Netflix. And I was in that movie, but cut out. But he filmed here for a couple of days. No, yeah, he really threw me a bone. He didn't need to film here. But he's been coming in maybe 10 or 12 years. So the friendly gesture, he
likes magic too, I guess.
He does like magic, yeah. And he also has two young girls, like maybe one's 10 and one's 12, who come to the show and so on. These doors are really super cool. They used to be in McFly's.
Merlin McFly's.
Yeah, they closed about 35 years ago or so.
I've been there.
Yeah. And so those are the doors. Come on, I'm going to show you the theater now. This is where we float the ladies and do all the mind reading, sleight of hand, stuff like that. And
seats about?
It's 150 seats there. Sometimes we put in some extra chairs, like another front row in the back, and make it to 200. Mm-hmm. Here, follow me. I should have prepared better and turned up. Oh, this piano. A lot of people around here would remember Chasen's Restaurant. It closed maybe about 25 years ago. And I used to do a lot of shows in the banquet room upstairs, and Chasen's was a old Hollywood hangout. All the old guys, like when I was alive, I mean, when I was doing shows there, people would go there like President Reagan and Merv Griffin, people like that. In the banquet room, they had this piano. This piano's about 100 years old. I got it at an auction. Later, when I turned on the stage lights, if you want to get a picture of the plaque, you can. All the old guys like Jimmy Durante, through the Rat Pack, etc., In the banquet room, they would bang on this piano, and so I have it right there. Cool. And I got it a long time ago. Yeah, so this is the stage. Later, when I take in the tech room, I will turn on the lights so you can get a better picture of that. Oh, ta-da! You're supposed to go like ta-da, like some new appearance kind of thing. So it might be a little dark, but I'll turn on a couple lights back here.
Hey, come in there.
Yeah. So this is kind of the backstage. I'll open the curtains for you because you can kind of get the view. I know a lot of the magicians want to see what it looks like going on stage here. And
It's like different people who have been here assigned.
Yeah.
there hasn't been anybody here for an awful long time. You know, I've been doing the show myself for almost 20 years, but when I started the first year, besides having Penn and Teller, I had a few other people like Rudy Kobe and Jeff McBride and so on come. They sort of threw me a bone and did the show. I was figuring out how to do everything else. I could stay in business 20 years. This is how it looks from the stage to give you an idea if you were doing the show.
Nicely rigged.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to be sure that every person
Great
in the
sight
audience could see the magician from head to toe with no obstructed views. You know, a lot of times you work at a venue and they see you like from the waist up, which sucks for a magic. So that's the reason I kind of went like that. When I was thinking of building it, I wasn't sure at first if I was going to build it this way or I was going to build it this way. I ended up this way. I figured it'd be better because they're closer. The furthest seat from the stage is about 18 feet. The back row, you could see a coin or a card perfectly, even with a few hundred people, 200 people. All right, follow me. I will, each one of my shows is about 2 hours. I always have 5 or 6 illusions. These are ones they're not using right now, but in the show, I also do a lot of close-up and stand-up.
And they can see without a monitor, TV monitor?
Oh, yeah. No, I personally, aesthetically, I'm not a big monitor fan. I even sit on the edge of the stage and do like a coin assembly routine and so on. They can see it perfectly. For me, if I'm going to see a show in person, I'm not a big fan of trying to look at the movie screen or the screen and back and forth. Aesthetically, I just like, if it doesn't work good in that room, I don't want to have a TV to watch it. You know? That's just me. I'm not saying anything wrong about it. This is our dressing room, and it's kind of a mess because it's a little working dressing room, and since we do about 250 shows a year, it's kind of always in a transition. We have a little restroom and shower. And
how many costume changes do you make during the show?
Oh, maybe 10 or 12, and the girl makes I do the show normally with my wife, Bozina, but she's actually in New York right now.
Oh, okay.
And so she has 3 different understudies that I do the show with also, and they're all a little bit different and so on. Here, I'll take you upstairs here. It might be a little bit dark on the stairway since I didn't plan this tour ahead of time. Oh, it's lighted up. I just don't want you to kill yourself. So I'm taking you in the tech room now. And this is the very simple deal here. We also have some office space up here that's for company magic concepts. This is, so you know what? You want to just flip on all that's everything for you. Come on in. When I was building the theater, most theaters, they have the booth in the back. I put mine on the side. The guy could see perfectly. And the reason I did it is I would lose like 25 seats if I put it in the back. So that's why I put it on the side. But it works perfect. The guy could see really great there. And it's a very simple board, 24 instruments, the audio and stuff like that. Sometimes we have celebrities that come. And we have like a little green room back here. And it's not really fixed up now, but you know, we might have a fruit tray and some champagne or something. And then when the show starts, you know, if they're really famous, they can kind of sneak in the back here and avoid any looky-loos or autograph seekers or stuff like that. And sit right here and enjoy the show. When I was building this, I had to fill in these windows for the theater. I didn't plaster over them. I wanted to have like the green room wall kind of thing. So I have a lot of famous people that have signed our wall, from David Bowie. Right under here is Albert Brooks. He came some years later and put an arrow and said, "I'm with David." This is Lisa Kudrow. This is Stephen King, who did an event here when his book Bag of Bones came out. Very sadly, Carrie Fisher died this past year. This is Meg Ryan. Later, Arsenio Hall's come a few times. He put ooh and put an arrow there. Interesting. This, Kevin Sorbo, when he signed this, was Hercules. You could see he writes his name kind of tiny. Take a look at Ariana Huffington or Gabe Blackstone. How they write their name this big. This guy's Hercules. He's right this big. You know, had Doug Henning come to our show about 6 months before he passed away. And interesting, was telling me all this. He was getting back into magic. He was telling me all this great stuff he was going to try and do. And then, like 6 months later, he passed away. So,
he knew he had cancer at the time, even.
Well, he might have known. He didn't say anything to me.
Serious. He didn't talk about it.
But he was. The thing is, he was always sort of toothpick thin and everything.
Yeah.
I knew him since I was about 17 or 18 years old. He maybe was, I don't know, 6 or 8 years older than me. So it didn't. And I hadn't seen him in. Hadn't seen you in 30 years. I hadn't seen him in 45 years or something. In a really long time. I think I saw him once at the Majestic Theater in New York when he was doing the show there. I was probably 20, you know. When he came in here, I was like 40, you know. And it was like we never left off. The conversation just sort of picked up, right?
Yeah, when you're old friends like that, sure.
Yeah. Well, I was an acquaintance. I actually spent about a week with him every day. When he'd come from Canada, he had this little motor, like scooter bike. I don't know how he rode it from there to here, but it was like a Vespa or something like that.
Yeah.
And which we even have to push start it to get it going. And we hung out for a week. He was taking lessons from Vernon. He was a little bit younger. I mean, I was a little bit younger than him, but we're kind of similar age. And you know, we're bumming around Hollywood, and you know, like showing each other tricks, like a little two-person magic convention. And then I didn't see him pretty much, except once or twice, until he came here that day. Then 6 months later, he died. So
Wow.
kind of a. Anyway, so we'll continue the tour a little bit. When I was building the wings, I didn't want to have any crazy turns or anything. This is the load-in. This is the alley between 3rd and 4th Street. So I put the garage door here. So you can just lift it up. You can bring your top right in here or right out really easily.
Nice.
That's kind of a thing. Is there a little Thurston stuff here? This above here is the last row of the theater above here. These little doors, I have a lot of storage under the seats. That's why I have those there. When I first started, I also had a smaller theater over here, like somewhere between the close-up and parlor size. But for some reason, I guess because I could do close-up at the big show, I never really could sell a lot of tickets. So I ended up making the smaller theater into a place where we do the food. So when we do a corporate event or fundraiser or a kids party or something, we put the food in here. So we've had like the tables going around the outside and put the food, you know, like a little buffet line or something like that.
Nice party room.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back to the front again, and so this little section is sort of the concessions where we had like the, you know, the popcorn and stuff like that. So we have the little magic store here. A lot of people, when they come to the magic show, they want to go home with a souvenir,
of course,
magic trick. Oh, you were just pointing out, this is where the Penn and Teller put their hand in footprints. And 6 months later, they came back and did the show, and we opened. Kind of started a little bit dirty, but still, we haven't cleaned up completely from shows. And you mentioned about the last podcast. That, of course, was my book, I Lie for Money. Candid, outrageous stories from a magician's misadventures. It's particularly aimed at those crazy dreamers who like to craft a self-directed, independent, creative life. You just want to laugh yourself silly. It's That's it. The book I like.
And I recommend it too, by the way.
Oh, good.
And me
I
too.
do. I recommend.
I read it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's really good.
Well, yeah, I'm just maybe a couple hundred pages in on a new book for magicians. That's kind of a
This really goes to
combination.
the general public. As any
This was for
yeah.
the public. I'm
Yeah.
talking about one just for magicians, but it does have kind of the road stories, the tricks, and also include all the pattern and everything. Not that it would fit anybody else but me, but just
Cool.
as to give someone a jumping off point.
Alrighty.
Speaking of which, if you want, I want you guys to have a seat right there. I'll try this new trick out on
Okay.
that I've been working on. And give me 1 second. I got to go grab my own little thing for this.
Okay.
And be right there. Okay, cool. I don't know if you know or not, but the studies have shown that getting a tattoo is the best way a young person can be cool. And I was going to ask you, Martin, do you have any hidden butterflies or tramp stamps or anything like that?
No,
Not a thing.
I'm not
No.
really into that.
Yeah. Well, if you get a tattoo, you want to get a good one. I mean, you don't want to be my age and telling your friends, dude, back then everybody loved Justin Bieber. You want to get a good one if you get a tattoo. That's why books like this exist. This one is custom tattoos in black and white. Martin, stand next to me here. He's taking off his hat. That was a courtesy of some sort. Anyway, flip through that book. See if you find a really interesting tattoo or a funny one or something like that. And wherever you stop, wherever you like. Good? He's still looking. He's a very discriminating, even though he doesn't have any tattoos.
I don't have any, but
Yeah. Find one there, okay? And if you would describe to us out loud the tattoo that you're looking at.
it's an astronaut
An astronaut.
with sort of flowers as a face.
Flowers in his face. Okay? Turn the page or flip a few more pages or whatever, or open the book anywhere else, and
Right.
describe a second one tattoo to us.
Okay, so she's a she-devil in a suit with snakes and bats.
Yeah, there's a lot of snakes in tattoos. All right, find one last one there to describe for us.
Alright, so it's a skeleton pirate.
A skeleton pirate.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was hoping that you would have found my favorite one in here. Time to look for it. But it's a yellow unicorn dancing on a rainbow with a spoonful of blue cheese dressing, and it's in black and white. So that's even because they're all black and white. It's kind of strange. I'm going to turn my back.
Yeah.
When my back is turned, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, now.
Yeah.
When you hear the word now, I want you to open the book one time anywhere.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, now.
Oh,
I want you to focus on a tattoo there.
Yeah.
Memorize it, photograph it, scan it, so in your brain, in your mind, there's an exact, from small detail to larger detail replica of that tattoo. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, wait, don't do anything yet. I can hear
No.
you fiddling around there.
No.
Some people think in words, some people think in pictures.
Yeah.
I want you now, like you were doing before, to make a sentence in your mind that describes that tattoo.
Okay.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn around now, close the book. Okay. And now this book is jam-packed with every single style of tattoo, from the Americana, the Asian, the surrealistic, to, there's 449 different images in here.
Right.
Okay. You're thinking of one of them. With your permission, I would like you to hold your hand and look in your eyes. Is it okay?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
sure.
Okay.
Of course.
Now, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1 now.
Yeah.
And when you hear the word now, I want you to email from your brain to my brain the tattoo that you have in mind.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1 now. Oh, geez, you're very good at this. You're getting a lot of details. I see right away this is, it's sort of a nautical, yes? Nautical kind of, it's on the ocean. It's not really the ocean. You definitely see the ship. I see the ocean. There's some sadness, some weird kind of, I see the beautiful girl. I'm not sure it's a mermaid, not a mermaid, yes? There's a beautiful girl. There's the ocean. There's the ship. There's something I'm missing. Let me switch hands here. Let me think for just a second. Oh, I know. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1 now. When I say the word now, I want you to tell me the sentence in words. You were using a picture before. 3, 2, 1 now. Oh, Chip! I got it. Yes, perfect. So yes, exactly. I was with the ocean. It was nautical. There was a ship. There's a beautiful girl, and the beautiful girl is crying, and the ship is sailing on her tears. And there's even on the tattoo it says "Ship of Tears."
Yes.
Yeah. Ta-da! You did it, really. You were the transmitter for that. That was very, very good.
And unbelievably, look, on my back,
That would be, you do have a tramp stamp. Yeah, that would be the
it's a ship.
Yeah.
Tears, look at that.
Yeah, the ship
Wow.
of tears. You know, I see the